action. What's this question you have?
You're trying to say that if we can change our race and change our gender and change other aspects of our physical vessel
on legal documents to be forcibly recognized by other people, yes.
Okay. So you're saying that people will then just change their age. This is the natural progression, you said.
For sure. The natural progression
The
of
natural
chaos
progression
and
is that now people are going to change their age, and this is advantageous to pedophiles.
Yes.
How?
Because
that's the question. How is this advantageous?
Pedophiles are a frequency of devilish, untamed energy.
Okay. That doesn't have anything to do with their age. Tell me more.
I'm not talking about the age. I'm talking about the pedophile. Hear me out. Stop cutting me off, please. So, pedophiles are symptoms of an untamed, devilish urge, just as much as a child doesn't eat candy all the time. Someone has urges that haven't been tapped into through lack of guidance to change these things. We're all different frequencies, both for certain ways, but we're on a planet with certain levels of like, this is not going to fly. We're our brother's keeper, whether we like it or not. So, of that ilk, we can't just sit idly by this as much as we are on like Skid Row next to a high-rise apartment. If we see someone getting murdered and stabbed, your food doesn't taste the fucking same. So we have to have some buffer or barrier to know who is in the factory making our iPhones versus, whatever. There's a buffer of nonchalance that we all have. Let's own that, all right? So what was the question again so I get back to this point?
Oh, you're coming back to it then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying that people that change their race, people that change their gender, are now going to change their age, which is beneficial to pedophiles. How? How is this beneficial to pedophiles? How does changing their age make them more likely to rape babies?
It's not more likely. It's not more likely. It's not. No. You're just making it more normalized. That's what I'm saying. So what?
There is nothing normal about an adult.
Pause. So the sense of in modern society with police and their control and the way they can charge you for anything. Wanton endangerment for shooting up something. They just get away, you know? They just get
nothing to do with pedophiles. Carry on.
No. I'm just talking about the legality of the loopholes, how Tupac and Biggie's murders never been solved because it's an ongoing investigation. Or take your fucking pick. Like, there's so many layers currently in our police force where they just don't get prosecuted, just like Catholic church members. They just get moved away, shuffled in the board because they're in the club and it's okay. There's different stats of law. And just as much as Epstein had a pedophile island, he was about to have clone of his dick and raping children, and no one talks about the shit because whatever, you know what I'm saying? So if these things are just so dense in these clubs that it's oblivious to us to see the depth of this, but it's where it's at. And the receipts show that certain frequencies of people get off too much. And there's a whole industry designed to profit from creating bitch-made people. If you're dependent on drugs to change your insides, to your outsides to feel like your insides, then you're also dependent for a system to give you a governance. Just as much as you'll vote for this, they can swing the pendulum because you're already dependent on drugs. If you can't be dependent on your own bootstraps, you have to use drugs and outside things to cut what's inside of you. You're not grounded as a person. You are a tool that has been incepted into the matrix of bullshit that makes those that aren't in it have to figure out how they're going to save or who they're not going to save. But either way, we that see that's a bullshit plan can't walk to the cliff. You know, it's fucking stupid. And as we walk away, it's against the grain. Some people catch the whip, some people don't. It's a very lonely road.
You are dope.
Okay.
When you go back to listen to this, none of what you just said answered my question.
Oh, sure. Okay. What's the question again?
Forget it. The trouble with your line of logic is that it's not a line.
Okay. You think
It's I can put a circle around it, but I can't put my finger on
it
it.
is a web of bullshit. There's so many fractals in this web that you are just that blind to. You've been.
What if you're just blind?
You're spirit blind, or you're like people are nose blind to the smell of their home or some shit.
I am nose blind to the smell of home.
People are spirit blind to certain shit. You're just spirit blind, and you're solely getting visions of it, and it hurts. Why you fight so dearly to comprehend? Because you love me. You know I'm going to steer you the wrong way, and you smell some part of me is right, but you don't see it, and you're jealous. Whatever it is. That's why you try to create these arguments for me to facilitate it to you, for you to get this amazing picture that describes the Tao, and you can't really describe the Tao. You know what I'm saying? There's no words that can describe the Tao.
So much to speak. I will give you that you have broadened my lens of perspective. I will give you that. But I needed that.
Mm.
But I also think it gives me more empathy and more drive to find a happy medium for everyone. Really. Why do you keep taking my beverage? I am not drunk.
Mm-hmm.
The more I look at these diametrically opposed viewpoints, and the more I look at these like completely polarized views, the more alike they are. Like I was talking with Mariko and Christian about how you have this whole facet of cancel culture, which is like, don't read J.K. Rowling's books, don't do this, we must shun a whole facet of society because they believe a certain way, right? However, the same group of people will flip it and be like, feel confident in using your words, say what you need to feel, write the books you need to write.
Very accurate.
And we have to stand up for book banning or against book banning, and it's like, how do you not hear yourself?
Yeah, the pendulum. They're exploring.
Do you not hear how you're doing the exact same thing that the people that you're condemning are doing? Like, how do you not see that? How do you not see that?
So that whole mechanism is exploitation at the least common denominator between them. It's the polarities and the balances between, and they just pull it to the side to swing you the other way to create this polarity when you could be in the middle. They create these boundaries of this and that.
Is the middle better?
I mean, it's smoothly the piece.
I think it's good to be able to comprehend the scope of the pendulum. I think it's better to.
I recognize that too.
I think it's better to be like, yes, this is true, but yes, this is also true, and you all need to shut the fuck up and stop hating each other for it because these are both truths.
I mean, true is individual, fact is eternal.
Give me an eternal fact.
Eternal fact is that
there will always be
yesterday we had food. Whatever we did. What we do yesterday?
Yesterday I worked from home.
Yesterday you worked from home. We talked on the phone.
Came over here and.
Well,
had a pretty
those are facts. Those are facts. Those are facts. Whatever happened yesterday are facts, right?
Sure.
Pronouns we knew yesterday were facts, right?
Apparently they were not facts.
So now they're trying to asterisk and addendum what were facts. To be all to know.
Why no? It's just tobacco?
It's a variety.
Of what? Tobacco, weed.
Whatever. So anyway, so this addendum of facts is like saying, oh, a man can be a woman. It's absurd. It's just fucking absurd. I was listening to this podcast, like Matt Walsh, same thing, What is Woman? He was explaining the same thing as well. Like, it's just absurd. Not to be like lipping to the right-wing bubble. It's just fucking logical. It's just fucking logical. It's stupid you're even indulging this.
What am I indulging?
Not you, but the media or the masses. That there's just such a push of liberalism to say, oh, feminism, and feminism means trans, and that means weakening men, simply put. And people as a person that make men.
Feminism does not mean weakening men either.
The way this is
It is nowadays, but
feminism or masculinism is either way you look at it, it's labeling things that are just natural. They're just shadows or attempts to describe what naturally is. They're not the most accurate things to hold the thing. That's what it's so ambiguous. But there's a natural order to things. And science tries to extort this and make it synthetic. This as much as fake weed. It's not the same.
okay, if we're going with the argument that there's a natural order of things, this is where feminism refutes that, because they're saying, why should I be pigeonholed into the belief systems that have been perpetuated throughout time, especially since Christianity came into the fold as a dictating, doctrine? Do you understand what I'm saying so far?
I got a side note of that. Beyond Meat.
That's shit you eat.
I don't eat that more. So Beyond Meat and like halal kosher meat. Two different meats.
Okay.
Beyond Meat.
Actually meat. What is not meat?
Mm-hmm. It's beyond. It's impossible. They even tell you.
It's straight up chemicals.
They even tell you, but they glorify it just as much as like one step for man, one step for mankind. That's a side story. But back to this Beyond Meat. Back to this Beyond Meat. Like, it's synthetic. And the same thing is for a man trying to be a woman. It's synthetic. And they're trying to pass off as normal. And this much we don't want to have Monsanto in our food. We want to eat organic. Why are we letting people glorify being non-organic and expect them to pass as organic? If you're augmenting your body, you're not organic.
Correct.
If you're getting a BBL, you're not organic.
Correct.
So why are we glorifying it as if it's normal to feel like beauty?
What, you think people getting BBLs give a shit about if their lettuce is organic?
I'm telling you, that's a sickness in people that we have to like purge out of ourselves as a society. And the art of living is to like grow, and we have to grow past these sicknesses. That's the purpose of life, is to grow. It's a shadow realm.
These are conversations that I wish you could have with Matt and Allison, because Allison's had modification. I'm pretty sure Matt's had modification. So it'd be interesting to hear. But I also think that they use their vessels differently.
Yeah, we all use our vessels differently. Well, I'm just saying there's a sickness to it that, we defeat it, we don't. We all have our own sicknesses. And we're all building this world to like shadow and mirror and channel these things.
But all I want to know is, what is the, quote, sickness that all those that are trans have in common?
Body deformity.
Body deformity?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
Well, it's their body and their idea that it's deformed.
Right, so what prompts that? What prompts them thinking
insecurity.
That their body is... Yes, it is insecurity.
Lack of guidance.
Is it lack of guidance?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, we don't pave the roads we walk on. We're built by two people, and we walk from a society and a community we're built in. And at some point, the community wasn't involved in these people, that they got caught in the whips of chaos to just extort them and use them as vessels and use our hearts against us to have us empathize stupidity.
That was so scripted.
Okay. It just flows natural. I'm sorry.
You've been indoctrinated, that's why.
I have to cop out.
What's a cop out? Me saying you've been indoctrinated?
I mean, sure, whatever. Either way, this is logically, it just makes sense.
Based on the definition of indoctrination that we looked up before,
everyone's indoctrinated. Everyone's indoctrinated.
Yes, exactly.
But there's a certain level of authenticity towards nature. And the receipts that I've pulled...
Nature's pretty authentic.
Counter impossible meat, okay? It just counters it.
Okay.
The idea of cutting off dicks or vaccines goes against nature. We were born on this planet. We're of nature.
Right.
There's plants to do everything.
Right.
The idea of extreme medicine and synthetics get creepy.
Okay. I'll give you that. However, nature also killed people off in their 40s. Not that I'm saying that living longer is any better for anybody. Damn.
People also lived to 600 years, apparently, too.
Well, vampires.
No. There's document that said Bible,
Is
people
that on the
recognize
Georgian calendar?
Bible, Quran, Torah, fuck ever. These are the oldest documents of people. Even the fucking Zoroastrianism, people lived a lot longer. So these narratives we hear are skewed, and that's also after like the Bronze Age. After the Iron Age, things got weird. Timelines changed. Calendars got moved around. We use a different Gregorian calendar versus the lunar calendar. A lot of factors are at play. So when you speak these things, you don't see the depth of each channel that you're referencing towards.
Well, I guess our drives are different. Like, knowing whatever information we know, believing whatever information we believe, how do we take that information and advance society? How do we take that information and do what's best?
You do what's best by not doing what's bad.
But bad is a judgment.
Okay, bad is another synonym for stupid or counterproductive. And counterproductive is feeding an industry of big pharma that endorses cutting yourself or taking a vaccine subscription to exist.
Okay. That is one thing.
Because that is just a tool to create the guise of we have to...
So we should not perpetuate a culture that has, what did I call it today? Who were we talking to? Not alternative medicine, but elective surgery. That's what it was. So the elective process of medicine should be eradicated, is what you're saying.
I don't know what that means.
So I should not have ever been able to have my weight loss surgery. And people should not be able to get nose jobs.
Weight loss.
And people should not be able to, whatever's considered an elective surgery that's not medically necessary, right?
I'm not going that far into defining the line of things. I'm just saying there's an extortion to use the least common denominator, which means I need to fix something or I have an issue that this could help me a lot, to the extremity of, we can all go, like, you can have a shot of alcohol or drink the bottle. That's a level of discipline that we all have to come to that balance of. There's always going to be people that create tides and ripples. That's like, as these ripples come, you can either sail it or let it drown you. That's the other thing you have to keep in another chamber as you juggle these concepts.
Okay.
It's not like a simple point. You're like spinning 18 plates.
Who's spinning 18 plates?
This logic is spinning multiple plates. It's not that you're looking in one direction. You have to keep this in mind with that, in reference to this and that and the third. And the origin of these things, whether documented in this history and timeline of these things that show the path. It's not just one, this is the one answer for here. You have to look at a spectrum of answers.
Always.
And that's what defines this frequency that I speak from.
Yeah. Well, what do you think I'm speaking from?
A knowledge
Part
to
of
learn.
the same spectrum, just a completely different area.
It's for my description here in the shadow part that I'm bringing more light to.
I think we leverage each other nicely. Ultimately, I just want people to be more tolerant.
I pause.
Less judgy.